Hello.
Hold up.
Do you remember Trap Nation? Do you remember all of its viral songs? Well, now it's dead in the water. Wait, what happened here? Trap Nation was started by a guy named Andre Benz in September of 2012, right in the times where people were getting geared up for a presidential election, the end of the world, and hopefully overthrowing a certain African warlord through the means of peaceful protest. He then uploads his first video to the channel, which is now deleted because of copyright. And because of this reason, most of the older videos on Trap Nation's channel are deleted, with very few making it up to today. Fast forward to late 2013, and only one of the things I mentioned prior happened. But what was happening in this time period was Trap Nation uploading 2 remixes of popular songs, which went off, each garnering tens of millions of views. In 2014, he started uploading some more hits and made the visualizer for Trap Nation move a lot. Like a lot more. And we also had a logo change too. And Trap Nation started experimenting with more channels like Chill Nation, which was run by another guy, but still part of the Nations. More on them later. 2015 this time around was big. Really big. Trap Nation hit 1 million, then 2 million, then 3 million subscribers. 2016 was even bigger, with Trap Nation reaching over 1 billion views and 10 million subscribers. In 2018, they reached 20 million subscribers. In 2019, they reached 10 billion views, and in 2021, they reached 30 million subscribers. Now, notice how they haven't hit a significant milestone for them, at least since 2021. In fact, Trap Nation has actually been losing subscribers, unlike me, who is about to hit 1,000 subscribers. So please like and subscribe if you are enjoying this video. Make sure to turn on all notifications so you don't miss a video that I make. Anyways, back to the video. So what happened to Trap Nation here? Well, first off, as I mentioned before, Trap Nation has been on the decline up to this point now, with pretty much all of its songs within the last year not even hitting 100,000 views. This is in contrast to one of its sister channels, Chill Nation, which has had multiple of its songs within the last year go over 100,000 and even 1 million views, despite usually not getting as much views as Trap Nation on most of their videos. So that leads me into my first reason. Since Trap Nation is based primarily off of promoting trap music, primarily the electronic kind, since electronic trap as a genre has taken a nosedive in popularity, so will Trap Nation. This is probably my biggest reason for their downfall, as no one really wants to listen to empty, boom boom, screechy screechy, empty drop, epic drop, meme sound effect, kind of trap music anymore, which is what Trap Nation posted to YouTube for most of its early to prime existence. That leads me to the back catalog for Trap Nation is just weak, man. As I said before, most of Trap Nation's prime was spent posting meme sound effect, empty screech screech, boom boom, epic drop trap songs, which really did not age well, and really tends to overshadow some of the channel's higher quality and just more tailored towards recent times music. A lot of the songs that went viral on the channel back then have stopped gaining traction, as most of them were either remixes of popular songs or from types of music that are no longer relevant or aren't really relevant today. So now you get a significant portion of your channel's discography now viewed as bad or cringe or too old by most of the internet dwellers or unemployed people today. Another reason why Trap Nation declined, like I said in my NCS and Monstercat decline videos, is that Spotify is basically the primary source for people getting music now, not YouTube. And although Trap Nation has Spotify playlists, it is not a record label brand, unless you're counting Lowly Palace and Broke Records, which have had songs go viral on the platform recently. But we are focusing on Trap Nation brand here, not the nations as a whole. And in terms of Spotify presence, these playlists are Trap Nation's only real presence. They don't even hold the rights to the music that they promote, which leads into Trap Nation is a genre-focused, YouTube-focused brand, which means that they are essentially confined to having to rely on trap music or music similar to trap music and people using YouTube for music, both of which have been kind of in the gutter recently. As I mentioned before, this is in contrast to their sister channel, Chill Nation, which can focus on the broader mood of chill instead of having to focus on the genre of trap. And generally, moods tend to exist longer than genres. So now Chill Nation can basically post whatever music they want, as long as it's chill. Trap Nation also doesn't have the flexibility of NCS and Monster Cat releasing their music onto other platforms, unless you're counting the aforementioned record labels. So Trap Nation can't really reach into other music streaming services. Lastly, I want to address their not very smart management, specifically their nearsightedness and lack of professionalism and caution when it comes to decision making. First and foremost, Trap Nation's change in visualizers and logos back in 2018 kind of washed off the kind of vibe that the channel had earlier back in the day. This was all in order to gain a more sleeker, more professional image, which really wasn't what the channel was going for back in the day, and this pissed off a few fans, but still they kept most of the visualizers. Now let's talk about the Planet Visualizer, which they used for a brief time around 2019-2020-ish, and they eventually stopped doing it because the fans were pissed. Their visualizer was gone. They wanted their visualizer back. That was what they were watching the videos for. They just wanted it back. Now you're just removing the thing that they wanted in terms of looking slick and professional. So yeah, not very good if you want to connect to your fans here. Another thing I want to address is their handling of the Vexed expose video, in which he alleges that the owner of Trap Nation, Andre, is a hacker associated with Lizard Squad and has been removing copyright from his videos as well as doing other general hacker behaviors. Now, I will preface that the video has made a lot of claims that rely on word of mouth or source trust me bro, and really you'd expect some charges to be brought up against him by now with what the video alleges. I also cannot access the evidence that is linked in the description of the video, much to my chagrin, because I really can't address the claims further and extend the runtime of the video. But first off, why would Trap Nation need to hack YouTube for copyright claims? I mean, they're big enough to just get the copyright themselves and promote it, and for people to walk up to them and promote their music. Why would they do that? However, Trap Nation generally ignored the allegations aside from a defensive response post instead of attacking the video's flimsy claims or even taking legal action against them. I couldn't find anything on them addressing the claim that they bribed him $10,000 to delete the video, which is also based on flimsy evidence. Don't believe me? Watch for yourself. However, one thing that Vex brought up that was definitely true is that Trap Nation didn't really pay their artists, instead pocketing most of the money that they make off the videos. This really hurt Trap Nation's reputation, and generally as a result of this management decision has led to a revolving door of artists coming, dropping a few songs, and then just leaving the channel and not relying on it. So you just gotta keep finding new artists. You know what I'm saying? Just keep finding more artists. Now, short answer, no, definitely not. Long answer, trap and YouTube are declining forms of media in terms of music and will ultimately kill the brand, but not the company. You see, I've been focusing on Trap Nation and not the nations as a whole, which still has successful brands as I mentioned before. So while Trap Nation may slowly die, the nations will keep living with their other brands. So what do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video again, please consider liking and subscribing as it helps the channel a lot, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss a video. I could get this channel monetized soon, and I'd be very happy if I did that. And yeah, bye bye.